All right, guys, reacting to if you're invited to this pool party, never go. And the thing is about pool parties, man. Pool parties be lit, man. But what you mean about this pool party, never go to? If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and comment down below. What else you want me to react to? And let's get into this video, man. That's how a pool party is like a DD party. I don't know. Let's find out.
I used to think the scariest thing about parties was social anxiety. You know, that agonizing feeling of standing in the corner of some random person's house holding a drink, wishing you were back home, locked in your room playing video games with every piece of junk food you could find. But that one July night last year taught me what real horror actually feels like.
Okay.
I was 22 when this happened. True dread isn't about being alone. It's about being surrounded by dozens of smiling.
Well, what is wrong, bro? What is going on in their faces? These are not regular humans, bro.
Laughing
What's
people
going on?
and realizing you're the only sane person in the room. That particular night was a suffocatingly hot Saturday, the kind of midsummer evening where the air
Hey,
felt like
got no
liquid.
AC?
My coworker, Mark, had practically begged me to come to a pool party. He promised free booze, a huge house, and a beautiful pool.
It's
The
AC,
problem
right?
was that I didn't know the hosts. I didn't know anyone who would be there. Still, I was tired of spending every weekend locked away in my room. I wanted to feel alive. I just didn't realize how hard I'd have to fight for it. The house sat at the end of a winding back road. It was technically still within the city limits, but it was tucked away on a dark street in an affluent neighborhood I'd never visited before. When we arrived, it was every bit as impressive as Mark had described. A massive multi-level
Sheesh.
estate glowed in the darkness.
Oh, that's a nice
The
mansion.
moment we stepped into the backyard, the atmosphere hit me like a punch to the face. Tiki torches lined the perimeter of an
Oh, this is
Olympic-sized
a nice
swimming
mansion.
pool.
It was
The
houses.
smells were everywhere. Chlorine, expensive cologne.
Wait, hold on. It's the pool party or like get together.
Barbecue
confused.
smoke, and the people. Dozens of
So
them. Everyone looked
these are sounds you get.
flawless in
These
their
are sounds you need to look out for. First are the smiles. If you're walking in the mansion, right, and you see these smiles, you gotta just turn around. All right, but let's be real. And second of all, they're not wearing any swimsuit wear. No one's getting in the pool. So like, what's going on? You gotta ask your friend these questions.
summer clothes, already mingling and laughing. Somewhere nearby, ambient electronic music pulsed from hidden speakers.
She can't
The
dance,
whole
but she's
thing
trying.
felt less like a party and more like a movie set. As I stood by the edge of the pool, watching the blue LED lights ripple beneath the water, an unexpected chill ran through me despite the heat. Something felt off. Everything was too perfect. Mark shouted over the music that he was going to grab us some drinks. Then he
No one's
disappeared,
swimming though.
and that was the last time I saw him. 10 minutes turned into 30. Eventually,
Facts,
I
though.
started wandering around the backyard, trying to blend in. At one point, I approached a small group near the outdoor bar. They were friendly. Too friendly.
So I see like, whoa, what is that smile,
Their
bro?
smiles were wide and welcoming, but some
Bro, you drink, you going to get some drinks. You try to look for your friend. I'll be looking for my friend. If you can't find your friend, I'm not gonna lie. You might just leave, man. I don't know. I'm not gonna risk it. You call police and then just dip because
something about them felt forced.
Look at that
When I asked
smile.
if they'd
What
seen
is
Mark,
this?
one of the women giggled.
He's probably getting ready for a midnight swim. It's very important that we all get into the pool together.
Oh,
The
that's-
host insists.
oh no.
I nodded awkwardly and backed away, but her words stayed with me. Then I started noticing things that didn't make sense. Nobody was actually drinking. A guy standing nearby
saying,
held
man.
a red cup
At least
tilted
you drank.
sideways, yet the liquid inside stayed perfectly level. Nobody touched the food either.
Everything's
And
like
the music, I suddenly realized it wasn't really a song, just the same hypnotic beat looping over and over
oh,
again.
it's over. It's over.
It had been playing for nearly 40 minutes.
It's over.
Anxiety tightened in my chest. I reached into my pocket for my car keys. Nothing. I checked every pocket. Wallet, phone, no keys. Panic setting in. I walked up to a random guy and asked if he'd seen them. I explained that I must have dropped them somewhere. He just smiled. Then he laughed. A low, unsettling laugh.
Oh, if it's not a sign to leave, I don't know what it is.
Before the midnight swim. Then he tilted his head. That was a very stupid thing to say, Leo. My blood turned to ice. I had never told him my name. Without saying another
Yes,
word,
thank you.
I turned and ran into the house.
The
I needed
house?
to find Mark. My heart
Dude,
hammered
Fred is
against my
dead.
chest.
Go to the car.
Inside, the house was enormous, quiet, maze-like. The music outside was muffled now, but that same rhythmic beat still seemed to pulse through the walls. I searched room after room until I found myself standing in a long upstairs hallway. That's when I saw it. Lying beneath one of the hallway lights was Mark's phone. The screen shattered. The entire thing was soaked.
Hey, oh,
A
Mark is
heavy
dead. Gotta go.
silence settled over the house. I rushed to a nearby window overlooking the backyard. The music had stopped. Below me, the party had changed. Every single guest stood shoulder to shoulder around the edge of the pool.
What is going on?
Nobody was talking. Nobody was moving. They were all staring into the dark water of the deep end. Then, every head snapped upward. At the exact same moment, 30 pairs of eyes locked onto me. I stumbled backward from the window and slapped a hand over my mouth. I had to get out, now. I sprinted downstairs. My sneakers squeaked against the hardwood floor as I rushed to the front door. I grabbed the handle and pulled.
Oh, it's over.
Locked. I pulled again.
It's over.
Nothing. My mind raced. Maybe a side window. Maybe the basement. Anything. Then the patio door opened. The crowd began filing into the house. They didn't run. They didn't scream. They simply walked. Slow. Synchronized. Completely blocking the back exit. Every face wore the same blank smile.
It's over.
Several of them spoke at once, perfectly in unison. It is time to join the deep end. They kept moving forward. The smell of chlorine filled the air. I backed into the foyer wall. Hands reached out, not violently, not aggressively, just enough to guide me toward the backyard, toward the pool. That's when survival instinct took over. My eyes landed on a heavy iron tiki torch mounted near a decorative plant. I ripped free from their grip and grabbed it.
There you go.
With all the adrenaline in my body, I swung. The heavy metal base slammed into the arms
Nice.
of the nearest people. Nobody screamed, nobody cried out, but their smiles faltered for just a second. That was all I needed. I shoved through the crowd and ran into the
Might have to
dining
jump out the
room.
window and
Then
just-
I hurled the iron torch straight through a massive
There you
side
go,
window.
smart.
The glass exploded outward. Without thinking, I dove through the opening. Pain shot through my forearm as a shard sliced my skin. I hit the grass hard, rolled, scrambled to my feet, and ran.
There you go.
I left my
He's
car.
out.
I left everything.
Yeah, this
I
guy's
just
smart.
ran
Finally,
down the
smart guy.
dark driveway, past the trees, past the mailbox, past anything that looked familiar. My lungs burned. My legs screamed. But I kept running because I knew one thing. If I stopped, they would drag me into that water. Eventually, the trees gave way
Gas
to
station.
neon lights. A gas station. I burst through the doors, gasping
not
for
weird
breath.
too, man.
Blood dripped down my forearm. My chest felt like it was on fire. The clerk took one look at me and immediately reached for the phone. The police arrived within minutes. Soon, I was sitting in the back of an ambulance with a blanket wrapped around my
so what happened
shoulders
to his friend,
while
though?
a paramedic treated my arm. I gave the officers the address. Then I watched their cruisers speed off into the night. All I could think about was Mark. Where was he? Had he set me up? Had he known what was going to happen?
Probably
The next
did, not
day,
a lot.
the police called. Their update made my stomach drop. When officers arrived at the property, the house was completely dark. The pool was empty, not drained, abandoned, filled with leaves, branches, and debris. A rusted real estate sign sat out front. According to records, the property had been foreclosed on
Oh,
and
no
abandoned for
way.
more than 2 years. There was no party, there were no guests, and there was no sign of Mark. They eventually found my car parked a block away, inside an old shed. My keys were never recovered. Whenever I tell people this story, they laugh. They say it must have been a prank. They say Mark probably ghosted me and disappeared. But every time I scroll past his
Wait, so
contact
what's the
in
phone
my
at then?
phone,
Yeah.
I remember what I saw that night, and I know what happened. Mark became part of the midnight swim. Maybe I should feel guilty. Maybe I should have tried harder to find him. But the truth is, I survived. I trusted my instincts. I fought back. I escaped. And whatever was waiting in that pool never got me. I don't know what was in that house. And honestly, I don't want to know. Because I
Jumpscares.
survived the deep end. And somehow, I made it back to dry land.
Dang. So that was if you're invited to his pool party, never go. Not gonna lie, there was so many signs he could have just avoided, but you know, he did trust his friend to go, so I can't blame him for that. That would be a crazy plot twist, right? Not gonna lie. But yeah, if you guys like the video, make sure you guys like the video, subscribe, and also comment down below. What else you want me to react to, and then yeah, guys, peace out.